Well, it was fantastic. It was very transformative, actually. So my wife and I followed the dieta very strictly, which I think is super important for this, because one of the things that, and Cordy and David suggested that we do this before we get here, is to, part of the dieta, see how you feel when these things that you like coffee, or salt are being withdrawn, and then see your orientation. It helps you figure out how important these things are to you, so that you can have a more mindful reintroduction of these things. So I think the dieta was helpful, but it also, I think, prepared our bodies for the ceremonies.
Fantastic. Yeah, with the dieta, do you think that you will go back to things the same way as before in terms of coffee and food and things like that?
We pretty much switched to mostly decaffeinated coffee a while ago, so I think we'll continue to do that because we don't have a big relationship with caffeine. I drink a lot of green tea. I'll probably continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure that we will both drink less alcohol than we did before, because it became something that we would have 2 or 3 days a week. We would have a glass of wine with dinner, or usually while I was preparing food or something. And it became more mindless, like habitual. So, it's dinner preparation time, let's have a glass of wine, which is not the orientation that either one of us want to have. Certainly I don't want to have that, because it's a sticky substance.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy about that. I think salt just makes food taste better, so we're going to go back to our usual salt. We'll use oils in cooking, and we both eat a pretty spicy diet, so we'll go back to chile, things like that.
Cool. So you've sat with Maestro Silvia before, correct? But not Noe, is that right?
Correct.
So what were your impressions of the maestros and how they work together?
Well, I mean, they are a really beautiful couple. The connectedness between them and the love between them is something that you really see in action, and it's exciting to be part of it, especially if, as I came here, I came here with my wife to work on issues that we have a very strong relationship, but we wanted to make it even stronger. And so our thinking was that going to a maestro and a maestro who have been married together for so long and have raised a family together is going to create a more intimacy between them that will allow us to sort of feed off of that, if you will. And Maestra Silvia, who I had met in Costa Rica before, she was very powerful then, but I think that was 5 years ago, and her skills and her power have increased dramatically. I mean, she is just absolutely amazing, and her voice is transcendent. And for me, Noe was like, he's younger than I am, but he's in a way, he's like a father or something like that. Just a beautiful soul that I totally connected with.
Fantastic.
And they work so well together.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like the ceremonies were pretty powerful?
Very powerful. And they were structured in a great way too, because the first night it allowed Sylvia and Noe to get to know the energy in the space and to see what everybody was dealing with and sort of what their emotional baseline is. That's the way I saw it. And then to allow them to see how much medicine each person should get, could handle, or needed. And that first night, it allowed me to clear out some underlying emotional issues that were more generic. It was very interesting. There were things that I'd been working on for a while, but somehow the solutions came that first night. And then the second ceremony was a little more intense. And again, each night you're walking in with an intention. My intentions happen to be variations on each other every night, so I was building upon themes throughout the week. The second night, I ratcheted down those intentions just a little bit with the insights that I had had the first night, and I did the same the third night. And as I have seen in previous 4-day ceremony weeks, which I saw with Silvia the last time, the third night is just like really intense. And then the fourth night, you're sort of closing down the medicine, you're saying goodbye to the medicine, you're reestablishing connection with self in a different way from being with the medicine, and just mindfully exiting, that space.
Do you think as a result of all that, do you think things will be different as you guys go back home?
Things are already different. Yeah. We've been talking, you know, my wife is still working on some things that she kind of got insights into, but hasn't really fully integrated. And I was asking her about that this morning, and she just said, "Well, I have a huge amount of confidence that over time the integration will come." And both of us have continued. We're very musical people, so we continue to hear the Icaros in our head, and like I was hearing Maestro Noe's voice all last night, and this is a full day after the last ceremony, and I still continue to hear his voice when I think about the things that I learned and the intentions that I want to bring to that. I'll just summon the energy of Maestro Silvia and Maestro Noe, and it just sort of, and then I meditate into that space, and somehow the intuitions that I want come from that. And I test those intuitions with time and meditative silence, and they hold up. So yeah, I think it's super powerful. And I have no doubt that when we get home and reestablish a regular routine, these things will just get stronger and stronger, especially because I think we're going to continue to maintain some aspect of the dieta and maintain a little bit more control over self-care, exercise, mindful diet, exercise, sleep, all those things that are really important to maintaining health.
Beautiful. Any thoughts you'd want to share on maybe the flow of the week, just with the other activities and the amount of downtime, things like that, or the center itself and the space and the food?
The center is beautiful, really beautiful, and the this is maybe obvious to the people listening to this, but the person asking the questions is David. His wife is Cordy, and they are not only gracious hosts, and they will make you feel so welcome and so comforted. Their daughter Sita was with them this whole week, and she brought an energy that was just so beautiful. But you guys, David, you and Cordy have been fantastic hosts, and you've
Thank you.
made this experience just immeasurably better.
Thank you.
The facility is great. The food's a little rough, but you expect going into it with a dieta that it's going to be rough. So it's, a little bit bland. The food has no salt and no spice, and so imagine cooking at home without oils, salt, and spices. Your food is going to taste about as good as it tastes here, which is to say they did a good job based on very limited. Very limited. In fact, the chef was apologizing to us that she said, "I wish I could make you food that was delicious, but I can't do it without violating the rules."
Awesome. Any closing thoughts? Anything else to share? Maybe anything to say that you would say to somebody who's maybe considering this but is uncertain.
I would say I've been meditating for many years, and I firmly believe that it's better to meditate and to have an understanding of the issues and problems that drive self, and to do either some therapy or self-therapy or have some therapeutic practice, yoga, meditation, something like that, to bring you into yourself, and to have some time, a decent amount of time to navigate that world interiorly before you do something like this, because I think this is a more useful experience to people who have done a little bit of self-work. It's not just something that you just get an impulse and say, "You know what, I think I'm screwed up and maybe ayahuasca is going to help." I think you have to have a better idea of what your issues are, what you're trying to solve, and how to solve them, so that you can ask intentions of the medicine that will be more specifically delivered. And I think it also helps Silvia and Noe navigate the space for you, because the clearer your intentions are, the clearer I think they will be able to create a medicinal experience that will really help you solve those things. So I wouldn't recommend it to somebody who's doing it on a lark. It's intense. It's not entertaining, even though it's fantastic.
Agreed.
And it shouldn't be viewed as just something that you do for fun. It's hard work.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
But anybody who's into it and has the courage to do it, because it takes a lot of guts, and forms an intention and concentrates on it and sticks with it, I think will be rewarded.
Fantastic. Are you glad you came here, Dana?
So glad.
Me too.
Honestly, I think it's transformative. I think I've been able to change in ways that I've been trying to change for years, and it's slowly and slowly and slowly going to come. So I have no doubt that the best is yet to come.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.